Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 7 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. For you sports fans, you are going to love this next interview, or maybe you're going to hate this next interview, from what I understand. I am not a sports guy, so I will do something I rarely do. I will actually read verbatim what was prepared for me, only because it's written in such a way that I would never be able to kind of ad-lib or improvise this. But the story, I can relate to this story. Well, no, I can't really. Not in the truest sense of this. Let me just tell you who is our guest, and then I want to read this little thing. Lance Easley, just by telling you his name, those of you who know sports know his name. Robin, you are a Green Bay Packers fan, so you might know the name. Lance is a sports official, an inspirational speaker, a producer of documentary films. He's got a book called Making the Call, Living with Your Decisions. Now, for the rest of us who don't know, and I'm one of them, let me read to you what happened to Lance. It was a Monday night football game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. The third regular season of the 2012 game of 2012. Easley was part of a substitute crew of officials that had been recruited by the NFL because of a strike by the regular officials. And for Easley, it says here, it was a dream come true. I imagine it was. Green Bay led by 5, 12-7. The Seahawks had the ball on the Packer 24-yard line with 8 seconds to go, time enough only for a Hail Mary pass to the end zone. The ball was hiked. Seahawks quarterback Matt Wilson was quickly chased out of the pocket and heaved the ball downfield. Thank goodness I have this to read. I couldn't do this without reading. It came down into a crowd of receivers and defenders. Two players, one a Seahawk, one a Packer, grabbed it at the same time, each struggling to seize it from the other, but neither succeeded. As Easley knew, the rule was clear. A simultaneous catch goes to the offense. He signaled a touchdown, Seattle won, and pandemonium broke out.
Oh, my gosh.
On the field, in the stands, and in the homes of TVs everywhere. And it didn't end there. Listen to this. In the days and weeks that followed, our guest, who's on the phone anxiously waiting to talk, or we're anxious to speak to him, Lance Easley, remained a matter of bitter controversy. The worst blunder in the history of the NFL, was one TV host said. He himself, Mr. Easley himself, became the target of scorn, hatred, even death threats, Robin.
That's awful.
Look at the phones lighting up.
Yeah.
All right, I know we've got some listeners who want to be on the air. We need to do the interview, and then we will take the calls. Anyway, the book talks about living with your decisions. Sounds to me like he made the right one, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about this, but if you're a fan and didn't like the call, then I guess there's nothing I can say to change your mind. Lance Easley, it's an honor to have you on our show. Thank you so much. Good morning. Where are you?
I'm in New York right now. I've been over here doing some interviews regarding the book release, and my wife and I are getting ready to head back home to the Central Coast here pretty soon.
And where do you live?
Central Coast of California.
Oh, wow.
About an hour north of Santa Barbara, where most people get their strawberries and the broccoli from. We're renowned for that type of thing.
So this a full year hasn't even passed yet, and it has it cooled down?
No, not really. It's the NFL is one of the largest sports in the world, if not definitely in this country, but
right.
In the world outside of soccer is probably a little bit more world famous. But and the season's ramping up. The Seahawks and Packers play each other this Friday in Green Bay, so
now
it's on everybody's mind right now.
But is there any way to actually talk some sense into anybody? I mean, it sounds to me like you did what the rules say to do. So how come those who are not listening to that won't listen? I mean, are they just blinded by their loyalty?
Well, the play itself is a very strange play. It's one that they didn't have on film. I actually sat down with a PR person from the NFL office yesterday. We had coffee, And he even out of his mouth said, we have tons of film, hours and hours and hours of film. And if that play existed, it would have been shown somewhere, but it just didn't.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So one of those rare things that didn't get on videotape.
Well, it hasn't happened. They film every game. So there was no frame of reference. And when I called the NFL office the next day, I asked my supervisor, I said, when was the last time you saw that play? Dead silence. And then every head coach, I've talked to Coach Dungy, I've talked to Coach Cower, I've talked to players, high school, college coaches, players. Nobody's seen the play before. So it was unusual. That an unusual situation in any walk of life can cause controversy and have people get upset. So, and that could happen to anybody at any time, anywhere, and whoever they are. And what even amplified it was here we were as a group of officials serving in a capacity, and we weren't the regular people. So officials are hated anyway. Well, put it another level, here we are getting hated even worse.
My goodness, that is so unusual that in a sport that has cameras everywhere, that there's no footage of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's just the play. Again, I've never seen the play. I've been watching football for many, many years, and that's what went through my mind. When it started to happen, I thought the defender would bat the ball out of bounds, game over. That's typically what happens. And when he went to catch it, in my mind, I said, "Oh no, here we go."
Somebody deleted the scene. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Somebody deleted the scene. I mean, somebody erased it or got rid of it or something.
No, there's no deletions.
How? I wonder how that happened. Okay, so you suddenly find yourself going from the dream job to the nightmare job.
Well, I think most individuals that are upward mobile, especially in the United States, they're looking to work at the highest level in whatever profession that they're trying to do.
Right.
Football officials are primarily part-time people. We all have our regular jobs, and that's something we do on the side. Basketball, Major League Baseball, those are full-time positions. They work all the time. That's all they do. They might have a part-time thing, but most officials, we're part-time. It's kind of like a hobby. It's something that you mentioned documentary films. I've been working on a documentary film for about the last 5 years, and called Guardians of the Gridiron, which was an inside look at why people do football, and it was surrounding high school football officials. Give people an inside look at who we are, what we do, how we do it. It's just an unknown world.
Right. The book itself, I want to make sure we're fair to the book, and then, of course, we'll talk about that call. But the book itself, does it expand beyond that to my life, to Robin's life, to everybody's life? We all live with our decisions.
Yes, that's the point of the book is after this happened to me, it really became more than football. I think if this happened 20, even 10 years ago, we just didn't have the media like we do today. We don't have the social media. We don't have the instant attacks that can go on to anyone. When I got off the plane, I ran into a police officer that said that he was just recently in the news because he had to chase somebody down, and people were there with their cell cameras, and it brought out all this controversy. And I thought, wow, there you go. There's another person going through it. A loss of privacy. Their whole world comes down. It's out in front of everybody.
Wow.
I imagine.
And so,
go ahead.
The questions that people ask me now, most officials, we go officiate a game, it's over with, we go about our business, get back to work. We know we make calls, and some are going to be popular. Half the people like the calls we make, the other half don't. But when this happened to me, people started asking me how I survived this whole media part, not as much the the play itself. But
Right.
how did me and my family cope with this? Having to meet on our lawn for a week, my name everywhere, most Google, most Twitter.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god! And
The death threats. and so. Go ahead.
No, well, I was just going to point out that Robin is from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I have a Green Bay Packers cup that I drink coffee from because she brought it to me from there. So I know that that's an area of the country that they are adamant about that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So you got the wrath of Wisconsin on you.
Well, not everybody in Wisconsin feels that way. I've talked to people. I used to work with a group that's up in Milwaukee, so I have a lot of dear friends in the state of Wisconsin. And I just was on an interview yesterday with a television station in Wisconsin. And, I love Green Bay. I love Wisconsin. I love a lot of the people there. I had one of the greatest experiences when I went and officiated a game there in week 4 of the preseason. It was just incredible. That's in my book, too. I met a young person who was struggling with some issues in her life, and I was able to encourage her, and she was an encouragement to me.
Wow.
And this is a part of the book. This is inside the book. I cover all these things that football becomes somewhat of a backdrop, and it talks about dealing with difficult decisions,
it's a real
situations.
Yeah, it's a metaphor.
And how I survived this, and when I was asked to speak about it afterwards, people wanted to know how I survived it, and most of the people around me were upset. I wasn't really upset about all of this. I kind of went along with it. I'm a former Marine. I'm a Christian person of faith. I'm an official. I've been a salesman for 30-plus years. I've heard the word no a couple times. I've been hated. I've been disliked. So it really doesn't even bother me. I just move along with my life. But the people around me were upset. They didn't like the way I was being treated. They didn't, my family, my friends.
I bet.
And then they thought that I was upset, and really they were surprised at how I handled it. So they said, well, can you explain, how you went through this? And that's in the book. The acronym DEAF that I use in the book is a game changer for most people. If they listen and read that and they think about it when they run into a stressful situation.
And what is it? What's the acronym?
It's deaf. When the noise in your life becomes overwhelming, you can become deaf to the noise. And deaf is an acronym I came up with.
Okay.
And it's from all the years that I've been trained and taught by many, many people, it just kind of salted away in my mind. D stands for decide to stand, don't be a victim. The E is embrace stress and pressure, help you grow. The A is adopt a good attitude. That's something you can control. You can't control the outside circumstances. And the F is to form a foundation of family, faith, and friends.
Yeah, man.
And that four-pronged approach pretty much helped me through this. In a way, in my subconscious mind, I really wasn't thinking of it consciously, but I put into words and put it into an acronym where most people could grasp it.
And you also bring out in your book about how decisions in general that a person makes, they just don't affect themselves, but they affect their family, they affect their friends. Sometimes they can even affect their lifestyle. So how do you encourage family members when some things happen that is not really nice or something like that deemed by others, to just be strong and not let it bother them? That's hard.
It is. Me as the individual, at least encouraging everyone else that I was okay about it. That's one reason I was available to the meeting. One reason I speak about it now, because I share the hope that's within me that I am okay with it, that people aren't going to like you every minute of the day, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, and you don't have to hate that person for it. In fact, I mentioned it yesterday on the air. My wife is a huge opera and symphony fan. She took me to see Cinderella. And I thought, okay, great. I'm here seeing Cinderella. I'm a football guy. I'm a man. And this is great. One of the most beautiful things about Cinderella and Puccini's play, this line at the end said, when she, became the princess and was married to the prince and all that, he gave her the option to punish those around her that treated her poorly. And she said, my revenge, my sweet revenge is forgiveness. And that really touched me, is having that attitude.
Wow, I never knew that about that.
Wow.
To have a different approach to life.
Wow,
as far as returning an uncivil discord for like for like.
There you go. Boy, I love that.
Something that I think a lot of us could learn from and grow from. I think there's a lot of uncivil discord in our country right now, which I'd like to see change.
Well, obviously, you took something that could have been awful and you actually made something beautiful out of it. Just to reintroduce, and then if you don't mind, we'll take a few calls from some listeners. The phone's been ringing the whole time. Making the Call is the name of the book, Living with Your Decisions, the subtitle. Lance Easley is our guest, and you might remember him from making that famous call last football season between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Let's go to the phone if I haven't cut somebody off. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Good morning. This is a Packers stockholder, diehard fan.
Oh, no. Be nice. Be nice.
I am going to be nice. I'm going to be very nice. It was a lousy call. I apologize. But now, it wasn't all your fault, because it was in the last, minute of the game. It goes upstairs to the review box. They made the second lousy call. But it was truly in our receiver's hands. He truly had possession. I mean, it went everywhere for the whole week. But, the wonderful thing about it, it ended the umpire, the referee strike. And the refs came back and everything got better.
So have you ever seen a video of it?
All over the place. It was all over the internet. It was all. I watched the game.
Really?
It was clearly we intercepted the ball. It was our ball. We should have went home with a victory. It was a lousy call on the field, up in the box. It was a Packer victory. We should have had a W. It shouldn't have been a loss.
Okay.
But it did. They don't reverse it. But we cannot blame this man, because there was somebody higher up that should have reversed the call.
Okay, Lance,
let him off the hook.
Lance, I don't understand. She said she saw the video. I'm confused about that part of the story.
Yeah, it's most people. I was speaking with Charlie Rose yesterday, and he was. You all probably on this call know who he is, and he really breaks things down. And a lot of people, when they look at, again, that's a very irregular play. It's not a black and white play. It's a gray type of a situation, and people want to attribute the possession in the air to people that are grasping for a ball. By rule, the ball is loose when it goes from the passer's hands. So those individuals that are in the air don't really have any possession when they're in the air, and they're all up in the air. Sports Illustrated's article actually said that Tate was the first one on the ball, which would really change that whole thing around. It would take out the defensive player completely.
You're going to live with this forever.
There's no control. There's no possession in the air. The players have to come down, and they have to maintain control of the ball throughout the process of the catch. They have to have 2 feet and or any other body part, and they have to maintain control all the way through that process. And if both players are on the ball simultaneously and they stay that way, then when I got over there, they were both hooked up. They both wrapped around the ball on the ground. I was praying to God that one would just have that ball, and I'd have some sort of definite decision. But
I have a somewhat of an odd question, and I hope it doesn't rub you the wrong way.
Sure.
But it sounds like in your mind you made the right decision. Some people disagree. Let me talk about.
I made the decision that by the rules, it really, I eliminate myself out of the thing. It really doesn't matter what I think or believe. I have to go by what the rule says.
Right.
The rules are definitive, and that's what I have to deal with.
But Lance, let me take it away from football for a second, just because I love what the big message is here. Living with your decisions. If I make a decision and it really is the wrong one, let's say I really did make a mistake, I have to live with that too.
That's right.
And I think what you're saying to me, or to the person who fits that description, sits well. I mean, I've made some decisions in my life that I've wondered about. I turned down some bigger radio jobs because I like this station.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small station in a small market. Robin and I have a show that's pretty popular in this market, and we've had calls from other stations offering us bigger packages, if you want to put it that way, okay? I turned them down and live with it, and I really don't regret it, but I'm guessing sometimes you have to, right? I mean, you just have to regret it and keep going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you didn't regret your decisions, then it sounds like you're okay. There's certain pieces of my decision-making process with the call I articulate in the book. It's the mechanical part of it at the end of the play, not discussing it with my fellow referee, which I would have made the same decision anyway, even if we would have talked. But we did that differently. So that's something that I reevaluated, and I didn't like the way I handled it, and I was influenced by the media because I thought if I don't sell the call, people are going to be upset.
My goodness,
think, oh, these guys don't know what they're talking about.
Well, no matter what you said,
they're
though,
a bunch of idiots.
The other team would have been mad.
It didn't really matter what I did. That play was going to be difficult. And I knew it when I saw it happening. I said, oh no. You just don't want things that you can't explain.
Yeah.
And most people, it doesn't matter what I say, you say by rule, anything, they're really always going to have problems with that play because it's just an unusual event. It's not something that's normal.
Can I squeeze in another phone call, or do you have to run?
Sure.
Okay. Good morning.
I'm here.
You're on the air. Good morning.
I just have to say one thing.
Go ahead.
Something small.
Nice.
You should run for office. You got the gift, buddy. I really think you got the gift.
Oh, you're not happy with his decision, right?
Not at all.
Oh my
Not
God.
at all. And what he's talking about right now is a bunch of garbage, too.
Oh no.
Oh, no,
Well, you
that
said
was mean.
this is never going to let go of this, are they, Lance?
That's awful.
I don't, whatever. I can't, there's fans and then there's players and coaches and there's people. I coach college football. I played the game. I've been around, people. You talk to football players, the pro football players, they'll even talk about that play and they'll say, why didn't the guy bat the ball out of bounds? Coach Cower on CBS, first thing he said to me is, why didn't they bat the ball away? Why were they trying to catch it? And as far as the defensive player, not the offense player. You just, in my coaching days, I would say don't allow an official or the opposite player to be a part of a decision. You want to eliminate those things because anything can happen, and anything did happen. Here it was, and they made a choice: 5 defenders and 2 offensive players to try to catch the ball instead of batting it away. And which is what I supposed to do. It would happen. It didn't happen that way.
And your book really does stress that no matter what decision is made, people have to play by the rules. You have the set of rules, and you have to go by it.
Yeah, you can disagree with gravity and see how that works for you.
There you go.
I understand it. You can go jump off a building and say, I just don't agree with it. There's a rule there. I don't agree with it.
If Lance, I don't know if this would work, but if I was in your shoes, I think I'd just spend some time in Seattle. Everybody must love you over there.
Hey, I'm fine wherever I go.
Well, you're actually the inspiration. I'm a little astounded actually that the callers were kind of what's the word?
Yeah.
Angry at you, but
agitated.
but
it does boil down to, in my opinion, the football teams too. I mean, why don't they just get out there and try to rack up as many points as they can instead of having a very small amount? Because that really puts pressure on you guys then,
Well, yeah, it does. There's a call that was made near the end of the Super Bowl last year that probably it was a one-on-one call that I know Coach Harbaugh from the 49ers was a little bit more upset of. That was more out in the open, that it was one-on-one. And I agreed with the no decision on that one, but I guarantee you there's a lot of 49er fans that are upset about that call.
I'm going to risk this next call. This will be the last call. Robin is squinting.
I know. I don't like bad things.
Good morning. You're on the air with Lance Easley.
Well, this is a Green Bay Packer fan calling.
Yeah, you better be nice.
I'll be real nice. I just want to say, sir, I disagreed with your decision on that, but you're a human being. People make mistakes. If you ever get down here to Ocala, you're more than welcome to come in my house, have a nice meal, have a couple of brewskis, and then I've got that game on tape. We'll just look at it again, and you can kind of explain to me why you had made your decision.
That part I don't understand.
But you're a nice guy, and I appreciate what you've done. When the guys went on strike there, somebody's got to do the job, and it's that's the way it goes. But you get down to your Ocala, you look me up. We're going to get together and have a couple of brewskis.
A couple of brewskis. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Holy mackerel. Yeah, there's nobody from Seattle around here. All right. Lance, gosh, it's really an honor. I think I love the message you're trying to say. I feel for you for these. I don't know, the feeling. It's not going to go away anytime soon. I guess it's a while still, but.
Fans are fans, and they're gonna, they're gonna see things a certain way.
But what I don't
again,
understand is the video part.
When you take a play like that, what's hard about that play is it's so rare and so strange that they just don't know what to make of it. It's not black and white. It's not like the guy stepped out about. Hey, I wish it was black and white, and I messed it up, and I could say, "Oh yeah, I messed that up." I really wish I could do that.
Right.
But it's so strange. The play was so strange that it just I couldn't do anything with it except what I did with it.
Lance, thank you for being on.
When I go speak, all the Packer fans that show up, they come up and they love me afterwards. They think that they get to understand.
Do you have an armed guard with you?
No,
the book again is called Making the Call: Living with Your Decisions. Lance Easley, how do we get the book?
It's out there everywhere. It's actually on like sites like Amazon right now. The Kindle version is on sale at I think about $4, and then the paperback is on sale too at around $9 or $10. And it's a promotion that's going on. So
okay, and I believe there's one on its way to the studio.
Yes.
We haven't received it yet, but when I get it, I promise I will offer it and give it away at that time.
We'd like to look you up also for your documentaries, because that's a huge project in itself to undertake, and I bet you do a great job at it.
thank you. Yeah, we're working at that stuff. And we have a lot of other things going on. People are very interested in this and other topics.
Lance, thank you for being on the air with us today.
Thank you. All right, you guys have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. You too. We'll take a little break and be right back.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
Hi folks, I'm Seth McBride with Pasture Sports, here today to tell you about our annual early buy school uniform sale, calling all students and parents. Now is the time to buy your school uniforms from Pasture Sports. Buy now, save huge for next year. So come on down to Pasture Sports for the only big school uniform sale of the year. Located on Highway 200 across from Honda of Ocala, Pasture Sports, your uniform experts.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right.